Hey guys, we're back with the house in Fata Morgana, a Requiem for Innocence. We're on Assento Dele, and I think maybe this will be the last episode of it. I'm not certain. Like, it could be longer, it could be shorter. Well, no, it can't be shorter. At least it could be just one episode. So, I think this one or the next will be the finale. I'll try to, if it feels like it's going to be ramping up, I'll make this one like an hour long if necessary, but anyway, let's get on to it. Between the two of us, Gary probably couldn't overpower a rabbit, and someone on death's dang doorstep, covering up the stained glass window was a grueling task. That day marked a turning point in our relationship, though. It was an insignificant change, something I doubted anyone but us would be able to notice, but it wasn't the degree that mattered. There's a real shift in the air between us. I really like the atmosphere that's in this store. Like, I was thinking, like, why is Fata Morgana so good at setting atmosphere? And I think it's just because of its visuals. Like, that's why what sets it apart from a lot of other atmospheric visual novels. Like, for example, Higurashi, it's a heavily atmospheric visual novel. Like, it has the music, it has like the writing, but also like the sprites. They're kind of like all cutesy anime-y, which Fata Morgana is like you call it gothic style? I don't know what to call it. Really helps with the atmosphere. Also, like, the music's great. I love the song. I've probably brought that up before, but still. I just wanted to bring attention to it again. I love the art. The sprites are amazing. Michelle doesn't seem so persistently wary of me anymore. I started to feel a little more relaxed in his presence. I didn't have to prove anything to anyone here. Part because he didn't pry into my personal life, but also because my time was so limited, I didn't have any reason to keep up a threat anymore. The biggest factor, though, was that no one here knew who I was. Oh, that would have been a good place to call it last episode. From time to time, Imiyan and I would have supper together. I wasn't going out of my way to spend time with him, but I didn't particularly mind it either. And no reason to. We stayed out of each other's business, and we both knew it was a temporary arrangement. As his disease worsened, his once exasperating vigor started to seem more and more obviously like a facade. When he spoke, it was like I could hear the remnants of his fading soul spill out with every gravely syllable. It's getting difficult to make out what he said at all, but he still persisted to act as though nothing was wrong around me. So acting in kind, making sure not to touch on his deteriorating condition. You know, we never did get around to talking about my adventures. Nobody's stopping you. You can just be honest and say you want to hear them. I can see it in your eyes. You love adventure stories. Not only that, you want to go on some yourself. That could not be further from the truth. Alright, let's see. About the story of the battle in the Northlands. About 5 years back, I was traveling to the lands far north. Every snowfall covered the land in the winter, stretching as far as the eye can see. With the arrival of spring, it melted and rejuvenate the earth. It's a lot colder up north than it is down here. Lands were fertile nonetheless. Naturally, where there's fertile land, there's people fighting over it. Two countries, one to the east, one to the west, fight for control over this particular region. I watched the battle from the safety of a nearby hill. Wonder if this is based on a historical battle. The theater for this battle was a large plain, sea situated to the north. Separating the two was a river flowing south from the sea. It wasn't a very deep river though. Both horses and infantry could cross it, albeit with some difficulty. The Western Army attacked first. They outnumbered and were better equipped than the Eastern Army, their soldiers well trained and commanders sharp. Planning and organization allowed them to cross the river with ease. Once they were on the other side, they stormed the Eastern Army. Now, how do you suppose the battle went? It wouldn't make for a very good story if the Western Army simply went on to defeat the Eastern Army. Because you're asking, presume the Eastern Army had something up their sleeve? Jeez, you're the worst kind of person to tell a story to, buddy. Play along at least, would ya? I just got a Discord message. I don't think you could hear it, though. He asked if he wanted to play a game and he joined the voice channel. Don't know I'm playing Fata Morgana. I'm sorry, buddy. Just... Oh! He typed Arrow, period, arrow. Like the... No, that's, it's greater than. Greater than, period, greater than. Wow. And then they type fine in all caps. Rude. I hate to burst your bubble, but I'm not a child listening to a bedtime story. Well, you're right about one thing. I would have framed things differently if the Western Army was going to win. They even got into detail about how advanced their equipment was, how strong their soldiers were, and up a commander or two. But no, the Western Army did not conquer the Eastern Army. In fact, they were both defeated. Oh. Yep, thanks to the intervention of a third force. Now, where do you suppose this mysterious third force came from? A single diseased person. I'm not saying man, because I'm still convinced this is the noble girl. Killed them all. It's the Danes. You gotta be kidding me, you suck at this! Given what you described, two sides divided by a river flowing from the sea to the north, larger and Western Army crossing over to take the Eastern Army by surprise, logical conclusion is that the third force would travel down the aforementioned river. Neither side had ships able to sail such shallow waters, so they didn't anticipate an attack from the river. The Danes to the north, however, have numerous ships capable of exactly that. That's why they're feared as the Lords of the Sea. Yep, that's exactly right. Thanks for skipping all the good parts and going straight to the answer. A fleet of ships with dragon heads on both sides sailed down the river after the Western Army crossed, quickly making land. The Danes are fearsome warriors, and big boys at that. They attacked both armies from behind, taking them out in no time. And the land fell in the hands of the invaders from the north. Then once it was all over, I hauled butt right the heck out of there. Only read of the Danes' fearsome prowess in books. Were you to witness an actual ambush? Jealous? See, what did I tell ya? You're all about these adventure stories. I am not. Well, I sure am. The Danes, they can travel both shallow water and open sea. The whole world is at their fingertips. Everyone just thinks they're savages. They don't see their potential. Wonder what's out there across the seas. What wondrous world awaits beyond those waters. But it's heaven on earth out there. A land unlike anything you could find traveling on foot. So long as this man infests the surface, you'll find no heaven on this earth. I know you aren't a people person, but hot dang, you're worse than I ever imagined. Can't make it through life on misanthropy. Misanthropy? Is that how you say it? And cynicism alone. Someone needs to teach you how to dream, buddy. Dreams are just that. Fantasies never to be... my voice. Fantasies never to be realized. Dreams are freedom. Doesn't matter if you're sick or a sinner, infirm or exiled, you can go anywhere inside your head. You can have complete and absolute freedom in your dreams. All empty hopes and dreams do is erode the spirit. I gave up on mine for a reason. If I were in good health, could have asked the Danes to take me on one of their longships. Bring me somewhere far, far away from here. A place where everyone's equal. No poor and no rich to oppress them. No one being judged for their looks or the family they're born into. I could have gone on another adventure. Grant you along this time. Found our paradise. Pretty sure the only way you're getting out on a longship is as a captive to the Danes. Remember what I said about dreams? 3 seconds ago. Should let silly realism into a box and lock it up. You can dream whatever sort of crazy, outrageous nonsense you got. Better not die. Hit me on. Don't worry about. No. So okay, so back to story time. After you escaped from the Danes, I crossed paths with this incredible bard. This one's gonna blow your mind, I'm sure. I'm sure. I didn't tell him not to push himself. He knew his own condition far better than me. I didn't have to tell him continuing was a bad idea. My role was to be quiet and listen. Amian then sung for me a song he supposedly learned from the bard. I could sing way better than this back then, he said with a strained laugh before beginning the raspy ballad. Every note melted into a sort of indistinct flat buzz, but it was still somehow pleasant to listen to. Perhaps because I can imagine what its voice may have sounded like in its prime. A bright, optimistic, unwavering, powerful voice. All the more enchanting because it existed only in my imagination. As I listened to him sing, So much that I'd kept sealed away slowly crept back to the surface. Felt like I was being whisked away into a far distant world, with the tales of his exploits in the bard's song. With Emion, his hand held out, waiting to take mine. The words, "Let's set off to a new world, buddy," on his lips. But his time on this earth was drawing to a close. Those fantasies faded into nothing. I wonder if Morgana's gonna meet with him. Well, oh no, I just said him. No! Emion's gotta be the noble, right? Unless Pandora's the noble, but then Pandora is Emion. You aren't seriously going to make friends with him, are you? I thought you were better than that. Or do you think you'll get something out of this? Well, you're sorely mistaken. You've forgotten what you truly are. Gotten it into your head you can be equals with him. Your heart brims with blight. Yet here you are, grasping at companionship, knowing full well it's but a fleeting illusion. What do you have to gain from forging a friendship with him? Already tired of me, are you, my dear? Very well, I shall take my leave. Despite what they may say, I'm a very kind-hearted girl. To those whose fates are sealed, that is. Pray you're blessed with wonderful dreams tonight. That night, I had a dream. Wow, was it wonderful? Not a nightmare, nor a dream of the past. A warm, pleasant, slightly bittersweet dream. I hadn't had one like this in quite some time. A field of... Is this wheat? I think this is wheat. An endless field stretched out before us. We pushed out your way through the sea of waist-high grass, pressing onward towards an ever-distant horizon. I can't tell if this is a filtered photograph or a painting. Like, well, paint, like, you know, with his John. I think it's a picture. But I don't know. We pushed our way through the sea of waist-high grass, pressing onward towards the ever-distant horizon. A spring breeze whisked past, caressing my cheek. At my side stood a man beaming as bright as the sun. He had a hair of deep scarlet, like the color of the setting sun. His eyes were unflinching. His lips showing his strong resolve. His chest was smooth and muscular, and a musky scent. It was my first time seeing his face, but I knew exactly who he was. Not much farther now. The man spoke. Our paradise is just up ahead. His lips curled up. There was a smile that looked condescending on any other face, but on his, it seemed perfectly natural. Not a trace of disdain. In fact, anything but a cocky smirk would have seemed out of place, which made reality that much more bitter. Here on the other side of the sea, in this beautiful land, no one will ever think less of us or anything. So someone happens to find out about you, no one's going to make a big deal out of it. No one's going to be afraid of my disease. I was well aware of the fact it was a dream. I thought it was a rather cruel one. Emion was right. I did love adventure stories, and I did want to go out on one of my own. This is the very thing I had wished for since I was a child. Two men setting out together, free from obligations, on a journey to see the world. Exploring the unknown and sharing the experience with a dear friend. But it could never happen. Not so long as I was who I was. Not so long as Emion was sick and on the verge of death. It was a dream we could never make come true, no matter how badly we wanted it, no matter how hard we fought for it. It wasn't an entirely impossible dream, though. There's one part of it that could become reality. The two of us becoming friends. There was probably enough time before he died for me to get close enough to tell him how I really felt. That I just wanted a friend. That I want to be able to laugh and frown and get upset like an ordinary guy. Like him. There may be a time, but that's not enough. There may be time. I'd spent too much of my life isolated, and almost irreversibly adapted to the solitude. Breaking through that shell would be no easy task, especially not with my unspeakable secret hovering over me. The very fact of my nature, which had transformed me from the namesake of an angel to an abominable demon that didn't deserve to live. Something that I couldn't tell anyone, couldn't let anyone find out. Which meant that a normal friendship was impossible for me to form. And I knew that far too well. That night, I had a dream. Not a nightmare, nor a dream of the past. A warm, pleasant, slightly bittersweet dream. I hadn't had one like this in quite some time. An endless field stretched out before us. We pushed our way through the sea of waist-high grass, pressing outward towards the ever-distant horizon. The spring breeze whisked past, caressing my cheek. At my side stood a man with a somewhat forlorn look on his face. He had long silver hair that fluttered in the wind. Our darkness was visible beneath the pale red of his eyes, and his lips were furrowed into a half-scowl. It was tall enough that I had to look up at him. That man furrowed his brow, as if to scorn the shining sun for daring to be brighter than the candlelight he was so used to. It was my first time getting a good look at him. I might have gotten some of the smaller details wrong, but it was still very distinctly the Michelle I knew. I pointed towards the horizon and said, "That's where our paradise awaits." He didn't seem to believe we would actually find anything, but he still joined me on my endless journey with a nary a complaint. So all it takes is bringing him into my dreams to drag the cynicism out of him. Huh, I thought. Then with a laugh I said, "We'll make pretty good friends, don't you think?" His eyes swam for a few moments before he finally muttered a response. "Many years ago, I dreamed of having something like that. You gotta be a little more specific. Like my 2 brothers. Keep going. Someone I could share with anything with, and can do the same with me. Someone who understands me without need for words." Classic image of a friend. 2 guys have always got each other's backs. Michelle crossed his arms and turned his head away. He might have even blushed, but I couldn't see for sure. I had mixed feelings. Mostly I was glad to hear he felt that way. I wanted to make that dream come true. It'll be just like that. You'll see, buddy. Another breath of wind blew past. I was pretty sure I was smiling. The way I always did. The way I always pretended to. My self-confident, utterly vacuous smirk? Words. Really, if we really got to know each other, there's no way we would ever be friends. True friendship was impossible to achieve between us. I knew that far too well. So, I have a theory. What if, like, Imion is the same as Michelle? Like, Michelle, like, had a birth defect, he was missing, can't say that word out loud, YouTube will ban me. And then, like, was racist as a girl, then it's like, whoa, I'm a guy. What if, like, Imion has like, the same thing? Like, the same backstory as Michelle? Maybe? Maybe not. There's also the fact that Michelle thought something was weird about the painting. And I think that's highly important. That's like the biggest clue we have about Imion's identity. If it would have shown us the painting, that would have been nice, but it's also painting future, presumably Imion. So, I don't know. At this point, I think we're too far in to say that Imion is potentially not the noble girl. I think for certain they're the same person. I awoke in darkness, in a house where the time of day held no meaning. The same sight awaited me every morning. Before I had grown fully accustomed to a world without light, the uncertainty of it occasionally morphed into fear. My instincts reacting, I presumed. Danger is harder to perceive in the dark, after all. Once I got used to it, the darkness felt almost compassionate, with its indiscriminating embrace. And now, I was more stable here than I was in the light. This morning was an unusually pleasant one, though. All my problems were still problems, my curses still curses. I felt like I managed to break the surface and catch my breath for the first time in who knew how many years. Amion's 100% going to die today. Perhaps I could thank the dream I've had. I rolled out of bed, grabbing the candlestick off my nightstand. With the remains of the mostly melted one, I lit a new candle and headed for the door. Next on my list was the fireplace. Trying to make sure there's at least a small flame in it. But as soon as I stepped out into the hall, "What are you doing there? I found myself face to face with Imion. Although that wasn't an entirely accurate description. She was slouched against the wall out across from my door. "Morning, Michelle." Like, should I be talking like a raspy voice? I don't know how to do that. I couldn't help but cringe at the sight of him, still insisting on keeping up his everything's alright act. "What are you doing?" Seems pretty obvious to me. Well, it isn't to me. You're clearly in no condition to be walking around. It's come. What has? My time. The light from the candle fluttered about, slightly offset from the trembling of my bony hand. But Amion, he is visibly shaking. I thought that I probably could have seen it without even the dim candlelight. Not out of fear or cold, simply a psychological reaction to his condition. His breath sounded like puffs of wind. The whoosh of a bitter winter morning echoing in the hall. His arms and legs were so atrophied that if I didn't know it better, I'd think of a small tree withering away in a fierce cold at first glance. My gaze slowly drifted downwards, stopping in his splayed arms. Blotches of red were visible in the palms of his hands. Did you cough that up? I almost reflexively made to draw nearer, but he stopped me after only one step. No, stay back. Don't touch me. You might catch it. We've been living here together, breathing the same air. If I were going to catch it, I would have already. The fact that I haven't shows that it's not an infectious disease. Maybe, maybe not. But either way, you shouldn't touch the blood. You know, as well as I do, that blood is unclean. It carries everything in our bodies, even diseases. You may be able to catch it from the blood, even if you do from anything else. So I figured I'd drop on by, say my goodbyes, say you're... I stopped myself before finishing the sentence, realizing just how foolish it would make me sound. As the one who had told him to leave when he knew his time was up. But that was back then. That's just how I felt when he first showed up. If I'm real lucky, I have maybe a couple days left. I've been hiding it, but it's been hard to even stand these last few days. I did a terrible job of it. Although, I didn't realize you're in quite such bad shape. Well, guess I get a passing score on my acting then. How can you laugh about this? I'm in a great mood. That's ridiculous. It can't be. Just drop the act already. It's no act, bud. I'm serious. Feeling great. Had a fantastic time. What better way to show that than with a nice laugh. Looking down on this man laughing at his death crept closer, I didn't feel pity or sorrow or anguish. I was angry. My chest clenched and my stomach lurched. How aggravating. There's something else there too. Some other way I could describe it. Wait, hold on. 1 second. I'm Googling the name Amion. I know! I figured out everything. The Amion Range in Antarctica. He's from Antarctica. So the range is named after a mountain in Asia. I remember there's a Mount Amion. That's Wikipedia is what gave me the pronunciation. I was trying to remember where that the mountain was. If it was somewhere like north of France. I don't know European geography. Then that mean he took the name. She took the name from the mountain where he watched that battle, wherever it was. But well, I guess hill, but still. I guess that's not related. It's also a village in the free state of, I don't know, Palau. Look, it's Palau. So I don't know, but it's not relevant. There's something else there too. Some other way I could describe it, but I didn't know what the feeling was. I couldn't draw it to the surface. I'm just kind of convinced that Amion's a fake name and Pandora's her real name. Or I don't know. It was aggravating, frustrating, sickening. Like if we were doing the same as Michelle theory, then Amion's like I don't know, but I don't know if that's the like. It'd be wonderfully ironic if that was the case, which is why I think that's the case, because Fata Morgana loves their dramatic irony. But I don't think that's gonna be the case. Like, it makes sense if it was, but I don't think that's the case. If that makes sense. But still, I don't know. It was aggravating, frustrating, sickening. The simple, negative emotions were what I kept falling back to. I wanted to block it all out. Basically, 50-50. It means either a guy or a girl. One of those. Wanted to block it all out. It means deteriorating body. a comforting dream, my own circumstances, this dark mansion, the whole world. I had an amazing time here with you. Seriously. Stop it. You're just getting sentimental, letting your emotions cloud your memory. I've done nothing for you. Think about your time before you got sick, when you were with your friends and family. Think about the time you spent traveling. Then you realize how insignificant your time here really was. It was all a lie. What? I was never a traveler. My name isn't even Emion. Oh! Hi, Pandora! Never went to the Northlands. I never saw the Danes. Even when I said about having a ton of friends, all lies. Here's the truth. I look like I came from the slums now, but I was born into a decently upper-class family, the Kalungner. My father and brothers all own several estates. I wasn't traveling when I got sick, but at home. And for a while I was kept locked up, to keep it under wraps. I spent my life doing everything asked of me for them. They turned on me the second I caught this dang disease. The servants I thought respected me, the brothers I thought loved me, they all wanted nothing to do with me anymore. They're continuing to draw parallels between the two, which makes sense. They don't need to have them have the exact same circumstances for them to have parallels. Before long, they started saying it was punishment for my transgressions, that I was cursed to transform into a hideous monster because I deserved it. Real swell family, huh? The disease hadn't progressed this far then, either, so I still looked, well, half decent at least. Pretty dang good-looking guy, if I say so for myself. So he's had to manipulate one of the maidservants into helping me escape. That's how my life as a nomad really began. So while I was something of a traveler, I was carrying some pretty big luggage along with me. Everywhere I went, it was treated like garbage. The Emion you met, brimming with self-confidence, was all an act. Sorry for lying to you. Why? Why'd I pretend to be someone I'm not? Because... no, I don't care about that. Why didn't you say something sooner? Emion's story, his life, was painfully similar to my own. I've been called a demon, mocked and insulted, made out to be a madman, and then locked away where no one could see me. Everyone I thought to be on my side turned against me. Should have told me. Cracks began to form in the thick shell I had spent so long building around myself. Sharp claws dug their way through the flesh of my heart, which I thought long since numb. Thick blood seeped from within me. It was all absurd. If anyone here was hurting, it was Emion. If I had known, if I had known, I could have done something. Is that where I was going with this? That I could have told him about my own past, then we could have bonded over our suffering? Now that wasn't how it would have gone. If Emion had told me what he had been through right off, I would have seen so much of myself in him, that I've likely detested him for it. I wouldn't have wanted to get to know him better. I wouldn't have even wanted to see him. I suspected, pretty early on, that you'd been through something similar. That you weren't here of your own will. And from your mannerisms, that you came from a noble family. Which is why I didn't want to say anything. I didn't want you to think that was why I was here. I didn't stay, because we both led tragic lives. It's not why I found it so comfortable here. Everything about how I presented to you was a facade, which is precisely why I was able to be myself. I can't tell you how wonderful it felt for you to accept me as for me. I didn't... You didn't have to do anything. That was enough to set me free. I could feel sweat trailing down the back of my neck. I couldn't follow along, couldn't make sense of what he was saying. My heart was wavering, but I couldn't put any of it into words. What were you supposed to say to that? I hadn't the first idea. You know, the way I lived my life, the way I closed myself off, I never would know. So I wanna thank you. Goodbye, Michelle. Emion let out a long sigh. Like his nerves had loosened all at once now that he'd had his peace. He then climbed to his feet using the wall for support, let out a couple muffled coughs, and started down the hall, leaving me behind. Well, wait, Emion. The shackles around my spirit were on the verge of coming off. Everything I'd worked so hard to bury was bubbling to the surface. Man I had killed in order to survive in this empty darkness. was being infused with life anew. I was opening myself up. Wait, I lied too. Or I mean, what I said then isn't true now. What? Yeah, okay. I don't want you to leave anymore. I don't care if you've only got a few days left. Or less longer than you will out there. So what? You're gonna take me in to nurse me? Exactly. Imion. Dang tempting, but no thanks. Why? I'm sorry. Why? The first person I've ever met who I could have possibly called an equal, a friend, was trying to withdraw from my life. Wherever. Something inside me cracked. Something inside me formed anew. I have a new Discord message. Oh, what? It's on Uminako's on sale, everyone! Up until September 20th, you can get Uminako 40% off. Wow! Quick! I'll upload this in time. No, I won't. Something inside me cracked, and something inside me formed anew. Morgana. Morgana. Morgana, I know you're listening. Michelle. Cure him, please. That's enough, Michelle. The witch isn't just a legend. She doesn't have a physical form, but she lives here, in this mansion. She's somewhere nearby, watching everything. Really, it's okay. Believe me. I do believe you. Imion. It's okay. Thank you. But why are you so insistent on leaving? Didn't you want to talk to the witch? I just think now's the best time to call it quits. But why? I do feel bad about this, for what it's worth. And I'm seriously grateful to you, too. That doesn't tell me why. Sorry. I want you to take what you're feeling right now and keep it with you. What? Seeing the person in yourself will help you see the person in someone else when you next have that chance. Whoever that is, take them by the hand, get out of here, go somewhere you both want to be. You may not find paradise, but you'll have a life. I mean, that advice got Michelle killed? Sure, okay. What on earth are you talking about? Alright, I'm seriously on my last legs. Can't even fake that I'm okay anymore. Imion. So long. Wait. Michelle? I think we made pretty good friends, don't you? Know that? He marched off down the dark hallway. It was almost unbelievable how sure-footed he seemed compared to only a few moments earlier. Then I realized what it was. His final show of self-confidence. Could have easily caught up to him, but my feet seemed to be rooted to the ground. Maybe because I knew that even if I had stopped him, it wouldn't have stopped me from losing him. Because anything I did would amount to nothing. I slowly dropped to my knees. It's not over yet. The noble girl has not been mentioned. The candlestick spilled from my hand, the flames flickering out, heavy darkness draping the hallway. I covered my face and let out a sharp, bitter groan. He had lived here less than a month. We barely knew each other well enough to call ourselves acquaintances, never mind friends. There's no reason for me to be feeling this emptiness. But telling myself that didn't make the pain go away. The pain of having something dear snatched away from you. A pain I never, ever wanted to have to experience again. I thought I could hear the witch cackling. Whispering that opening myself up only made me vulnerable. That bringing that dying man into my house was only ever going to leave me feeling all the more lonely. That I always belonged in darkness, not light. Thank God. He left the bar off. Barely got enough in me to push the door open. Is that really how you want to do this? Morgana, you're not that bad after all. Oh, it's you. Oh, color me surprised. Figured you'd be with Michelle. We're gonna see you off for him. You mean you decided you get more entertainment out of me? Everybody's crying? A girl with long braided hair stood before me. A smile spread across her lips. Her form was vague, almost a silhouette. I couldn't make out any details, but I still knew exactly who she was. This wasn't my first encounter with the witch after all. I've been able to see her and hear her voice since shortly after arriving at the mansion. Oh. When I told Michelle that I believed she existed, I wasn't just saying it, I knew. You're quite the seasoned liar. Making it out like you're coming clean. And then replacing one set of lies with another. You can still go back and make it right. Tell him the truth and you'll have my wish. Think about it, my dear. A few days after taking up lodging at the mansion, the witch appeared before me. She spoke in a pretty but almost childlike voice, explaining how unusual it was that I could see her. Because evidently, no one with a trace of hope in their heart is capable of seeing me. They can't hear my voice or even sense my presence. The despair that coursed through Michelle is what served as the catalyst for my resurrection. You're not here to be healed. You want to put a curse on someone, don't you? That's right. Your eyes don't lie. I'm honestly kind of floored right now. First, the Witch of Legend is real. Second, she's not even human. A mortal can neither cause miracles nor cast curses. Fair enough. So how do you know what I really wanted? It was obvious, my dear. All that murky filth swirling beneath your smiling visage. It's like a window directly into your soul. Sounds like there's no hiding anything from you. So you can just drop the act, huh? Tell me you can at least can't hear everything I'm thinking. What if I can? I'd appreciate a little bit of privacy. You're not, my dear. I don't have the ability to read your mind, though. But you should know that the world as you see it, and the world as I see it are very different things. Emotions, such as your seething animosity and desire to curse, as well as fragments of your memory, are all laid bare to me. I normally wouldn't bother sparing anyone a moment of my time. I have a mission to accomplish. I would like Michelle to accompany me on a long journey to its completion, so I don't have time to distract myself with anything else. If you're indeed nothing but a needless optimistic fool come in search of miracles, I would have done everything in my power to chase you out. So I can assume the fact that I'm still here means you've taken at least something of an interest in me then. Indeed, for you were broken enough to come seeking me. And I'll get straight to the point. I want you to curse my family. Every last one of those dang Castagners. That's my final wish. The last thing I want from this life. Like, am I supposed to, like, shout? Like, oh, they mentioned that name again? No, it's Chekhov's gun, come on. The last thing I want from this life. I gave my whole life for my family. Sacrificed everything. And they repay me with derision. Hell. Making me into a demon. I'm here sick and miserable. And nobody cares. There. They need to experience the living hell I had to endure. I can't go in peace until they have. It'd be my pleasure. Wait, seriously? What, do you not believe me? No. I just didn't think it'd be that easy. On one condition, though. I'll offer my sincerest wishes for your family's utter devastation. So long as you offer me something in return. Now that sounds more like the witch I was expecting. So what do you want from me? My life? Sack of gold? My resources are a bit limited, so let's hear it. Michelle's spirit. Excuse me. I told you I wanted Michelle to accompany me on my journey. But too much of his worldly concerns remain for him to be of any use to me right now. He still racks his mind over trifling drivel. That stone-faced Michelle? His actual warriors? It's all an act. For now, that is. I want you to crush his spirit, transform him into something more fitting for my purposes. And then I'll make your wish mine. That sweet voice makes what you're asking all the more frightening. So how do I go about it? Start by using your head, my dear. It was worth a shot. That said, I will give you a hint. You have it at your disposal. Everything you need to become exactly what he desires most. Hold on, let me scroll back up. Hold on, I want to make sure of something. Nope. Scroll up a little. Is that really how you want to do this? Get to see you out for him. Quite the seasoned liar. Tell him the truth and you'll have my wish. Okay, so he didn't go through with this. Okay, basically. Everything you need to become exactly what he desires most. It didn't take long around Michelle to figure out what the witch meant. There's one thing he very clearly sought, That's something I, presently, capable of making myself into. Everything one would need to slip through the cracks in the wall around his heart. I was on the verge of death. I didn't know a thing about him or his personal life. And I was a man. Michelle seemed to have trust issues when it came to a woman. He had no interest in a lover or romantic partner. So the reason Emian called herself a man was because Michelle would be like, girls, yuck. He had no interest in a lover or a romantic partner, but a peer, a male friend. I guess Michelle had probably been subjected to countless betrayals over the years. His mother, father, siblings, loved ones. Probably never at the hands of a friend. I never even had a real friend before. So Morgana's proposal was for me to become his friend, then betray him. There's still time for you to go back in there and reveal everything. To see your wish to fruition. You can even ask for a miracle instead of a curse. To rid what ails you. Don't bother. Not interested in any of that anymore. I'm just going to go back out into the forest and die. So nope, you won't get me to go back there. I don't understand. What on earth brought you to this decision? I stopped caring about getting back at my family. That hatred was what had kept me going for so long. It's what had driven me to wander in search of this cursed mansion. I had in service of it, feigned getting friendly with Michelle, until at some point, it stopped being fake. I found something more valuable than petty vengeance. I wanted to live the rest of my life, and then die for that. With a bit more time, maybe I could have even told him that he'd pull me up from such a dark place. And then, were it within my power, I'd like to have done the same for him. That was a dream beyond my reach. You would have to remain in this darkness for a while yet. I can understand losing interest in cursing them, but you're ignoring the other part of my offer. That I could wish for a miracle. Perhaps you don't believe the cursed witch can perform miracles. But you would be mistaken, my dear. In life, do you know what I was called? A saint. Oh, you're a saint with one heck of a mean streak. I know that was hardly called for. I'll pass on your miracle to him. Can't imagine it comes free of charge when a curse has a price. You want to go in and tell him everything, right? What do you have to lose? What possible reason could there be for you to hesitate? That should be obvious, even to you. I want him to think of me as a friend. This is what he wanted, after all. A peer, a male friend. So if I'm willing to go, I want to go out as that. You'd give up your chance at life for something so utterly meaningless? I don't care how stupid you think it is. I don't have enough time to pull him out of his dark place. But if at least he remembered me as a friend, and that it had some positive effect on him, however insignificant, I much prefer that to anything the witch was proposing. Just don't you? Go blabbing once I'm gone. I can't make any promises, my dear. You say a word to him, and I'll curse you. My heavens! Are you picking a fight with the witch? Do you honestly believe you can curse me? You bet I can. Could well turn into a witch just like you. Once I'm dead. You very well could. You have all the makings of a fine witch. Well, you can rest easy, my dear. I won't be saying anything to him about you. Because you're too inconsequential to be worth mentioning again. I beg your pardon? At the end of it all, the only one Michelle truly needs is me. You won't have any use of the original story. You'll only be in the spin-off, the fan disc, in a side story. Only once is a curse, and I'm the only one who can provide it. You pretended to be his friend for a few weeks, but in a year's time, that memory will have eroded away into nothing. Your death will amount to nothing. All you did was cast a light on his isolation, and sooner or later, it will transform him into an inhuman spirit who lives only to spread curses, much like myself. Now that, I can say you're wrong about. There's more care and understanding in him than you realize. He hides it, but it's there. Don't fool yourself. The whole world isn't going to bend to your whims, Morgana. There's nothing left that I could do. I couldn't leave any more of a mark on him, nor could I free him from her grip. But someday, someone would appear. Man, woman, friend, lover, it didn't matter. Someone would enter his life, take him by the hand, and lead him out of this cursed mansion. Someone would drag him out of his darkness. Well, you turned out to be quite the disappointment. Everything I once saw in your eyes has been purified away into nothingness. Mark my words, all your hopes will be in vain. And you can watch from the afterlife, helpless as everything I said comes to pass. And I'll be praying from the pearly gates that you're wrong. Well, this is where we part ways then. Farewell. Noemi? Nomi? I don't know. Until our souls cross paths once more in the boundless sphere of fate. She really likes that line. Looks like this is as far as I go. Can't see a dang thing anymore. But hey, it could be worse. I feel like I've been set free. Like all my shackles have been loosed. I found one thing to appreciate about this disease. Gave me the one chance in my life to be myself. Hey Michelle, we're not that different after all. You were my first friend too. My real name was Naomi Castagnier. Emion, the name I went by, was just my first name spelled backwards. Oh. But truth be told, I was pretty fond of it. Anything else I might have come up with probably would have given away my gender straight off. Nearly everything I told Michelle was a lie, and claiming I was a guide to the story of my escape. I didn't use my good looks to trick a maidservant into helping, but instead manipulated a maidservant. But looking back at it now that it was all over, felt like the fake me, Emion, was more me than the real thing. But I'd always felt constricted, my whole life. Nothing but barriers from the day I was born. I loved playing music, writing stories, running, riding a horse, swinging a sword, anything that gave me some sort of freedom. But I was only allowed that until I was about 10 years old, at which point my life became training and everything I needed to be married off to some nobleman. I still remember those days vividly. Sitting stone still, staring out the window while I had my portrait painted. I caught sight of a large bird taking off to fly north. Watching it flap its heavy wings, I fantasized about riding the bird off somewhere far away, to a beautiful, boundlessly lush land where no one had ever seen before. I'd find my own nation. That'd be its first citizen. Is like that expression what they saw in the painting? Like Michelle, and did Georges notice it too? I forget. I'd find my own nation. That'd be its first citizen. It'd be a land without unfair rules and customs. A land where everyone was equal. Man, woman, young, old, a smile on everyone's face. And you'd be free to choose who you spent your life with. There'd be no nobility, and there'd be no slaves. And in this land, I'd finally be able to find my true self. Painting time? Like, portrait time? Yeah. Michelle? Michelle? Oh goodness, what are you doing in here? Oh, Mom, Mother. Still looking at that painting, are you? Yes, there's something about it. You agree with me, don't you? It's a wonderful proposition, but your brothers never seem to want to listen to me. I'll have to return the painting to the Castagniers, after they went through all the trouble. Indeed. But all that aside, it's time for supper, Michelle. We're celebrating the deer's return tonight, so don't you dawdle. You need to be there. You need to be there and show him how much you love him. Yes, Mother. I'll be right down. Don't keep us waiting. It's been bothering me. Why couldn't I take my eyes off the painting of the Castagnier girl? But I think I figured it out. That forlorn look in her eyes is more than resignation in those eyes. A trace of longing lurked within them as well. She's looking at a faraway world, distant not only in physical location from Mars, but in time as well. A boundless dream dwelled in her heart. I found myself slipping into her place, fantasizing about that same distant land. A place where I was allowed to be myself. And if, by some chance, I was able to make it there, would I find you there? Know me? Okay, how did you learn her name? You just broke the timeline. I think we made pretty good friends, don't you? Those were his last words before disappearing into the darkness. Their time together was brief, and they knew each other for nearly nothing of each other. So could they in fact be called friends at all? Could he be friends with someone so nearly a stranger? He didn't know where they came from, or who they truly were beneath the surface. Had they known it though, were they aware of each other's inner selves? Never would they have been able to become friends at all. We made pretty good friends. It was precisely because the two knew nothing that they were able to know one another. A friend by any other name. That's pretty good. I like that. Like, how good was that? Like, it was better than... I liked it more than Door 3. I better than Pirate Door 1, I'd say, actually. It was pretty dang good, pardon my French. Okay, guys, next time we'll be back with Tales of Wasted Away in Obscurity. If I based it off the achievements, there's 3 of them. Like, here, if we click this, like... Does it start with, like, 1? Like... We're gonna get a subtitle for this, watch. Oh, oh no, we just get, oh, okay, we just get to choose. Okay, that's better, I guess. Like, sure, why not? Let us choose. I mean, I'm going to be going 1, 2, and then 3, but still. Anyways, guys, I'll see you guys next time when we do that. I don't know how long they'll be. Maybe I'll do 1 per episode. Maybe I'll do like 2 in 1 episode. Third one, I don't know. Depends on how long they are. I imagine this was 3 episodes, right? So that'll probably be 3 episodes as well. It's just a guess. I imagine they won't just be like 10 minutes each. So I'll see you guys next time. Bye.